Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq returns home after participating in the fraternal meeting for the leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, Jordan and Egypt in Abu Dhabi. Shell Integrated Gas Oman announces the start of gas production from the Mabrouk field at Block 10 in the Sultanate of Oman. Tomorrow is the start of receiving applications for registration and transfer of registration from one wilaya to another in the electoral register for the Shura Council members' election for the 10th term. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in details. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq participated in the fraternal meeting of a number of Their Majesties, Excellencies and Highnesses, leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan and the Arab Republic of Egypt, which was held in the UAE capital Abu Dhabi this evening. The meeting, titled Prosperity and Stability in the Region, dealt with the strong fraternal relations and areas of cooperation to serve common interests, as well as reviewing a number of regional and international issues and developments and challenges in the region. The meeting was attended by the delegation accompanying His Majesty the Sultan. After that, Their Majesties, Excellencies and Highnesses, the leaders of the countries, held a private meeting. His Majesty the Sultan arrived in Abu Dhabi, where His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates, was at the forefront of those who greeted and welcomed His Majesty upon his arrival at the presidential airport in Abu Dhabi. Upon his arrival, His Majesty the Sultan was also received by His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of the Presidential Court of the United Arab Emirates, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Hamad bin Tahnoon Al Nahyan, Special Affairs Advisor at the Presidential Court. The visit of His Majesty the Sultan to the United Arab Emirates comes to participate in the fraternal meeting of Their Majesties, Excellencies and Highnesses, the leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council, the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, and the Arab Republic of Egypt. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq left this afternoon for the United Arab Emirates after participating in fraternal meeting of a number of Their Majesties, Excellencies and Highnesses, leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan and the Arab Republic of Egypt, which was held in the UAE capital Abu Dhabi. His Majesty the Sultan was seen off by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates, and a number of senior officials. His Majesty the Sultan sent a cable of thanks and appreciation to His Highness the President of the United Arab Emirates, in which he expressed his thanks and appreciation to His Highness for the warm hospitality. His Majesty the Sultan praised the fraternal meeting with a number of Their Majesties, Excellencies and Highnesses, which gave a chance to discuss the brotherly relations and means of enhancing them, which consolidate cooperation between the countries in various fields in order to serve the joint interests, praying to Allah the Almighty to bestow great health and happiness on His Highness the Sheikh, and for the Emirati people further progress and prosperity under the wise leadership of His Highness. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq arrived home to the homeland this afternoon after participating in the fraternal meeting of a number of Their Majesties, Excellencies and Highnesses, leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan and the Arab Republic of Egypt, which was held in the UAE capital Abu Dhabi. His Majesty the Sultan was accompanied by an official delegation comprising His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of Royal Court, His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed al-Nu'mani, Minister of the Royal Office, His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad al-Busaidi, Foreign Minister, and His Excellency Sayyid Dr. Ahmed bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Ambassador of the Sultanate of Oman to the UAE. May the Almighty Allah guard His Majesty the Sultan wherever he might be and grant him permanent success. Shell Integrated Gas Oman, a subsidiary of Shell plc, announced the start of the gas production from the Mabrook field northeast of Block 10 in the Sultanate of Oman. Production from Block 10 concession area is expected to reach 0.5 billion standard cubic feet of gas per day by mid-2024, with the produced gas supply to the OQ gas network that feeds local industries and export facilities alike. This accomplishment strengthens Oman's rich natural gas reserves whilst bringing value to support Oman's energy transition and achieving net zero emissions by 2050. Oman LNG Company signed two binding close agreements with PTT Public Limited Company and the Total Energies Company to supply natural gas starting from 2025. His Excellency Engineer Salim bin Nasser Al-Aufi, Minister of Energy and Minerals, presided over the signing ceremony. More details in the following report.
Oman LNG Company signed two binding close agreements with PTT Public Limited Company and the Total Energies Company to supply natural gas starting from 2025, amounting to 1,600,000 metric tons.
Today we celebrated another signing ceremonies with two major international companies who actually sells gas, and we are very pleased. This signing ceremony is a complement to our effort in driving sustainability in the world market. It's also a reflection of Oman LNG reputation in the international market, in the gas market. And we're really looking forward this sales will contribute to the Oman economy, to the sustainability agenda of Sultanate of Oman, and to the humanity all together.
Under these agreements, Oman LNG Company will supply PTT Public Limited Company with about 800,000 metric tons annually of gas, according to a 9-year contract starting from the year 2026. In addition to 800,000 metric tons annually for the Total Energies Company for a period of 10 years starting from 2025.
We are delighted to sign these two contracts today with our partners, also not only partners but also to new markets, basically with Total and PTT, a Thai buyer. These term sheets remarks the new future of Oman LNG, but also not only for the company but also with the country. I think there's a lot of support from the management, from the government, so that's why this will support the economy of the country.
The signing of these agreements reflects the efforts of the Sultanate of Oman in providing energy sources to global markets, as well as paving the way for Oman LNG Company to sign new contracts, strengthen the strategic partnership, and ensure the company's attendance as a safe and reliable source of clean energy in the world.
The Ministry of the Interior announced the start of receiving applications for registration and transfer of registration from one wilaya to another in the electoral register for the Shura Council members' elections for the 10th term, starting from tomorrow until the 31st of August. The ministry called on citizens who have completed the age of 21 and meet the conditions specified by the law to submit their applications via the elections website, while making sure that their personal cards are equipped with the electronic authentication system. The 3-day Oman Environmental Sustainability Forum was concluded in its first edition, in which a number of experts, scientists, and specialists in the environmental field from inside and outside the Sultanate of Oman participated in the forum. The conference included many working papers focused on an important axis related to climate change and air quality, and the scientific discussions of the participants contributed to enriching it. According to the conference, the Sultanate of Oman achieved the best classification in the region, the Middle East and North Africa, according to the RICE organization of the World Bank, as it ranked 6th in the world in the use of renewable energies. The Sultanate's attainment of this classification came as a result of great efforts made by the concerned institutions, as well as a group of initiatives and projects, foremost of which is the National Environmental Policy in the Energy Sector and the National Plan for Zero Neutrality. The closing of the conference was held under the patronage of His Highness Sayyid Fahad bin Al Julanda Al Saeed, President of Sultan Qaboos University. Oman Society of Engineers, in cooperation with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning, hosted the 10th edition of the Tamayyuz Excellence Award in Muscat. The event was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Dr. Fahad bin Al Julanda Al Saeed, Vice Chancellor of Sultan Qaboos University. More details in the following report.
Tamayyuz Excellence Award, in its 10th anniversary, shows the Omani capital Muscat, as it is a city that holds a unique architectural character and an authentic urban identity deeply rooted in history.
The importance of this being in Muscat, first of all, Tamayyuz Awards is a renowned international award, and having it in Muscat is particularly special this time. Oman has got its own history of architecture, and we intend to explore this and to be also part of the future making of architecture and planning. This is representing the trends and the approaches that are going on now in urban planning, architecture and art, and we are keen to continue Oman's status as it was in history, in the current time and in the future.
Tamayyuz Excellence Award is an international award for architecture established in 2012. It includes Tamayyuz Lifetime Achievement Award, Women in Architecture and Construction Award, Muhammad Makiya Prize, Rifat Shajarji Prize, and Diwan Award for Architecture. The Omani architect Ali bin Ja'far Al-Lawati has proudly won the Muhammad Makiya Prize for Architecture 2020.
It is a pleasure having such a prize. The name of the great architect, Dr. Muhammad Saleh Makiya, who was rooted connected to Oman and designed the Sultan Qaboos Grand Mosque. It is an encouragement to do more work toward architecture and urbanism in Oman.
It's an amazing honor. I'm so honored and so proud to be here and to be in this beautiful country of Oman. The work that I'm doing, it's all about working with people. It's all about the network. So joining this network and receiving this empowerment means a lot, and I'm so thankful for it.
The renowned Tamayyuz Award also includes International Graduation Projects Award, Iraqi Graduation Projects Award, the Al-Azzawi Prize for Public Art, and Tamayyuz Special Recognition Award. The award celebrates the outstanding and innovative contributions of the architecture professionals whose endeavors push the urban planning sector forward. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh Bukhalfan Al-Rahbi, Muscat.
His Excellency Dr. Saoud bin Hamoud Al-Habsi, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources, patronized this morning over the opening of ceremony of the International Forum for Expertise in the Development and Art of Marketing and Promotion of Dates, with the participation of local and international experts, academics, researchers and marketing circles. More details in the following report.
Under the title Date Marketing Pioneering Experiences and Future Directions, the International Forum for Expertise in the Development and Art of Marketing and Promotion of Dates commenced this morning under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Saoud bin Hamoud Al-Habsi, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources. The forum aims to shed light on the importance of dates as an exceptional fruit and its contribution to food security and its role in improving public health. The participants will also look at various ways of enhancing its production techniques and presenting pioneering experiences in the field of investing in the manufacturing industries of dates.
Dates is very important, and Oman is a member in the International Date Council. So it's an international event when we bring all the stakeholders from private sector especially and governments who's responsible about dates. So the event It will look at how we can increase the production at international level, trying to share experience between companies, countries who participated in this event. They will discuss how can we cooperate and share the experience, trying also to convince some of the international organization which is responsible about food, like Codex, and to build a regional, international standard to make sure we fulfill the requirement in terms of safety and also in terms of the specification for different dates products.
The two-day forum is being organized by the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources in cooperation with the International Dates Council and with wide participation of experts, researchers and specialists and marketing circle at the local, regional and international levels, in addition to a number of local and international organizations, government agencies and the private sectors.
The challenge, on dates in general, the challenge is about the production and marketing. There is a lot of date palms. It's more than 200 million tree in the world. So there is a lot of production, but the marketing outside Arabian countries, it's not that good. So this is the major challenge for us. So how we, the consumer there in Europe or in USA or in Eastern Asia, they have some standards. We should know what the standards they want.
The forum is being held based on the belief in the importance of the date palm as it constitutes a historical heritage and strategic and economic crop in the Arab region and the GCC countries, and the production is about 77% Arab world, 21% in the Gulf. Within the Sultanate of Oman, approximately 9 million palm trees available with about 325 varieties. The cultivated area is estimated at 62,000 acres, which constitutes 22% of the total cultivated area. The Sultanate of Oman ranks second at the level of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries and the eighth at the global level in terms of the total production of dates. The national strategy for the advancement of date palms has contributed to raising date production, reaching 374,000 tons for the year 2021, with a growth rate of 49% for the period from 2005 to 2021. This forum comes at an important time where the world's attention is focused on food security, especially within the current situation of the impact of climate change on the agri-food industry and the fluctuations in the food system stability. And at this time, it is important to emphasize on the importance of dates as a strategic crop, not only for food security for the countries in the region, but for the rest of the world, not forgetting its importance on economic and social aspects. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
Petroleum Development Oman held a ceremony to mark the graduation of Omani staff from its Shababuna program. The event was presided over by His Excellency Muhsin bin Hamad bin Saif al-Hadrami, Undersecretary of the Ministry of Minerals and Energy. More details in the following report.
Petroleum Development Oman PDO celebrated the achievements of 782 Omani staff who have successfully completed the Shababuna program.
We're here celebrating the graduation of nearly 800 of our young graduates from the Shababuna program. It's a structured program which we develop the skills and the capabilities of these young folk. They are the future of PDO and the future of Oman. This is our talent for the country. We're extremely proud of them. They are amazing people that deliver every single day. We're very proud and we're looking forward to what they can do, not only for PDO, but for the whole of Oman.
The program was introduced in 2013 to provide structured on-job training, monitoring and assessment for Omani staff who joined the company after graduating from universities and colleges with bachelor's degrees and above. The program's main objective is to support graduates during the early stages of their careers and quickly integrate them into the workplace through a combination of on-the-job and off-the-job training, enhanced e-learning, focused coaching, and mentoring. For Oman TV, Ahmed bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Muscat.
A helicopter crash in Kiev suburb today killed at least 15 people, including Ukraine's interior minister and 3 children, Ukrainian authorities said. There was no immediate word on whether the crash was an accident or the result of war with Russia. No fighting has been reported recently in the Kiev area. Interior Minister Denis Monastyrsky, his deputy Yevhen Yenin, and State Secretary of the Ministry of Internal Affairs Yuri Lobakovich were among those killed, according to Ihor Klimenko, chief of Ukraine's National Police. Monastyrsky, who was in charge of the Ukrainian police and other emergency services, is the most senior Ukrainian official to have been killed since the start of the war with Russia almost 11 months ago. The crash comes at a particularly dark period in the war for Ukraine, just days after the Russian strike on the apartment building in southeastern Ukraine killed 45 people, including 6 children, the deadliest attack on civilians since the spring. The head of the UN Nuclear Agency visited 2 of Ukraine's nuclear power plants to oversee the establishment of a permanent presence of inspectors at each of them. The inspectors will oversee operations and ensure safety, officials have said. Rafael Grossi, Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, was at Rivne nuclear power plant in Varash yesterday. He met with officials and watched as the agency's flag was raised at the site. On Monday, Grossi also visited another nuclear power plant near the city of Yuzhno-Krainsk. Former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger said yesterday that he is in favor of dialogue with Russia as its destruction would be perilous. Such a prospect would open Russia to internal conflict and to outside intervention at a time when there are 15,000 more nuclear weapons on its territory, he said. Kissinger spoke by video link yesterday at the World Economic Forum meeting in Davos, Switzerland, saying various lines will need to be drawn to prevent the war from escalating. The UK and the US have reaffirmed their support for Ukraine in its struggle against the Russian invasion. After talks at the State Department in Washington with Foreign Secretary James Cleverly, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said they remained committed to backing Ukraine for as long as it takes. Mr. Blinken welcomed Rishi Sunak's decision to supply British Challenger 2 main battle tanks to Ukraine, and he said he expected the US would be announcing further assistance in the coming days. Mr. Cleverly said the US and UK have worked hand in glove along with other allies to support Ukraine since the start of the conflict. Blinken and Cleverly also spoke about Iran and the country's brutality against its own people. This comes after Iran said Saturday it executed a former high-ranking defense ministry official and dual Iranian British national, despite international warnings not to carry out the death sentence. The execution further escalated tensions with the West amid the nationwide anti-government protests shaking the Islamic Republic. The world is in a sorry state because of myriad interlinked challenges, including climate change and Russia's war in Ukraine, that are piling up like cars in chain reaction crash, the UN chief said at the World Economic Forum's meeting today. Secretary General Antonio Guterres delivered his gloomy message on the second day of the elite gathering of world leaders and corporate executives in the Swiss ski resort of Davos. Guterres said the widest levels of geopolitical division and mistrust in generations and are undermining efforts to tackle global problems which also include widening inequality, a cost of living crisis sparked by soaring inflation, and energy crunch, lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, supply chain disruptions, and more. He singled out climate change as an existential challenge and said a global commitment to limit the Earth's temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius is nearly going up in smoke. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq returns home after participating in the fraternal meeting for the leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, Jordan and Egypt, in Abu Dhabi. Shell Integrated Gas Oman announces the start of gas production from the Mabrouk field at Block 10 in the Sultanate of Oman. And tomorrow is the start of receiving applications for registration and transfer of registration from one wilaya to another in the electoral register for the Shura Council members' elections for the 10th term. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.